What's good, YouTube? It's Pokemaster88 bringing you week 14 preview of the BHDL. So this week we have the California Trailblazers coached by yours truly, and we're taking on King Burra and his Italian Inkays. So we're both on a 2-game winning streak. We both haven't lost since losing week 1. So this is also our first time playing King Burra. He's a brand new coach in BHDL, but I think most people would consider him a draft veteran because he's done other leagues. So this will not be an easy game. But yeah, with that being said, whoever wins this game will continue their winning streak, and whoever loses this game will also be 2-2. So we don't want that to be us. And yeah, moving on to this week's matchup. King Burra has a very threatening Sun team. A very good Sun setter, Hazard setter with Groudon. Very good Sun abusers with Walking Wake and Lilligant. Amazing pivoting options with Zapdos and Scizor and Ambipom. He's got bulky threats like Florges, Muck, and Regirock, and he's got Sailors there, as a really hard-hitting Sun abuser. So very threatening team. This week was very difficult for me to prep because I didn't have a lot that wants to take on Groudon plus Lilligant plus Cerulege plus Ambipom plus Scizor plus Muck, because Dondozo can only check so many things at one time, right? So we had to rely heavily on our supporting cast here. Palkia looks amazing in this matchup. We hit everything for neutral damage. Like, we could drop Dracos on Groudon. We can destroy Walking Wake. Granted, he's not booster speed or in the sun because he's also photosynthesis. Scizor doesn't want to be in front of Palkia. Zapdos doesn't want to be in front of Palkia too. One thing to watch out for is Thunder Wave, because we don't ever kill Zapdos with any one hit. So we need to be very careful how we deal with Zapdos. Cerulege, I'm not expecting it to come, but I've experienced it in mocks, so it is very good if it does decide to come. But I think Lilligant is coming. Muck is definitely coming, because if you don't have Muck there, Spectre kind of just goes crazy on this man's team. I don't expect Regirock to come because I feel like Groudon could do everything Regirock wants to do, but better. Ambipom, I don't see it, but if you want to bring it, great. And then Florges. Florges gave me a hard time in mocks because of all the special attacks I have. But if I see Muck and Florges, that's gonna be a very hard matchup for me to overcome. And yeah, so looking at my side, I don't have a lot that wants to deal with that Sun team. I have a Toe Scroll on my side, right? And yeah, it's my only rapid spinner, but at the same time, I can't touch Cerulege, I can't touch Zapdos. Yeah, I get Earth Power and things like that to hit the Muck, but at the same time, it just invites in Zapdos for free, invites in Scizor for free, Lilligant for free. So as much as I want to bring Toadskrull this week, I can't. Monkey Dory doesn't look the greatest because there's a Muck and a Scizor there. Low kicks I thought about, but one of the deterring factors of low kicks was Zapdos and Scizor. I mean, I think low kicks might actually look okay here, because Tinted Lens, boosted hits do look pretty solid to his team. But since I'm not bringing a rapid spinner this week, I didn't want to bring low kicks, because if I did bring it, right, I would have what's that item called? protected pads, so we won't be bothered by Zapdos. So if I'm not protected pads, if I'm running protected pads, I can't be boots, and bringing low kicks in and out around rocks is gonna be very bad for my team. So I couldn't bring low kicks this week, even though it doesn't look bad, right? Tink, same problem, right? It doesn't do well against Zapdos, doesn't do well against Scizor. I don't have much to hit Ceruledge, so Tinkaton, you know, does well against Muk and Florges, but I couldn't really bring Tinkaton either. So looking at the team, right, I have to get very aggressive with the way I approach this team, especially my Infernape. So yeah, moving on to the first Pokemon, right? It is indeed my Infernape. Alright, Infernape is going all out here with the fire attacks. We are 56 attack, 232 speed. This allows me to outspeed Lilligant and Zapdos, you know, especially if Lilligant's not Victory Dance. I actually have 220 special attack because if I do end up showing Flare Blitz, it does invite in Zapdos, and if the sun is up, and we do have a chance to kill it. We do have a chance to kill Zapdos. We are Blaze boosted because as I'm spamming Flare Blitz, as I'm getting weaker and weaker, we are in return powering up our fire attacks. We are a naive nature, so mons like Florges, mons like Walking Wake are even stronger against me because I'm a negative special defense nature. But the plan is, with this Infernape set this week, is to kind of lead with it, click Overheat, and get off damage on mons like Groudon, Zapdos, anything but Walking Wake we can hit very hard. I originally had Stealth Rocks on this Infernape, but I couldn't hit Ceruledge. I thought about Knockoff, but then if I go into Knockoff and I run into a Zapdos, we do risk getting Statics. But if for some odd reason we don't kill Zapdos with Overheat, I'm really all for going for Flare Blitz to finish it off, even if we risk the paralysis. Vacuum Wave is to kind of pick up a Walking Wake that's chipped and weak, a Lilligant that is also very low. So we're just gonna lead Infernape, click Overheat, Ray, and hope that we miss. If we miss, we miss, and I'm just gonna have to accept that. But this is our Infernape this week, right? So moving on to our next Pokemon, we have Dondozo. So we are a max defense, max HP Dondozo. This thing is here for Lilligant, it's here for Ceruledge, it's here for Groudon. It's also here for Muk, because if Muk wants to come in and start, you know, spreading the poisons, we can also body press it, Wave Crash. The only downside is Zapdos is a very easy switch into this mon. So getting that play right and playing around the Zapdos coming in is going to be very difficult. We are heavy duty boots because Groudon is an amazing spiker, and shipping down my Dondozo definitely makes it hard for mons like it definitely makes it harder for me to take on Ceruledge and Lilligant and Muk and all those physical attackers he has on his team. So keeping Dondozo alive and healthy, especially while Lilligant is still around, is very important. But yeah, we are rocking Terra Fighting because this thing also hits everything on his team for neutral damage except for Zapdos and Florges, but that is okay. We have teammates for this. And with that being said, we are moving on to our next Pokemon, which is Spectre. Now, bringing Spectre to a match when there's a Muk is crazy, but I didn't want to bring low kicks because I'm not bringing a spinner this week. So Spectre is here to pass burns on like Groudon and Muk, maybe even pass one on Florges just to kind of keep it from getting leftovers over and over against my team. I had sub on this, sub calm mine for Zapdos, originally, because you know he could try to Thunder Wave me and things like that, but I needed Will-O-Wisp for the Groudon. For the Muk, Draining Kiss kind of keeps me healthy, because if I get to if I get to +1 special attacks and special defense, I can actually take on Walking Weight, especially after a Draco miss, and we can start Draining Kissing and start going crazy with Spectre. But Muk has to be out of the picture in order for us to be successful. And yeah, you cannot miss Will-O-Wisp this week, Spectre, so I'm counting on you. And with that being said, we are moving on to our next Pokemon, which is Palkia. Okay, so Palkia is very, very interesting this week. I do not have Flamethrower for Scizor, which I really, really wanted. I have Earthquake on this set to hit Muk. Draco hits everything but Florges for neutral or super effective damage. Surf is a very good neutral, especially if the sun is not up. And Heavy Slam is here specifically for Florges, because if Florges comes in and is chipped for whatever reason, a Heavy Slam or even 2 can knock it out. We're doing about 44% per Heavy Slam, which is honestly pretty good for a Palkia, you know what I mean? We are 220 speed. This allows me to outrun Ambipom and everything else that's slower than Ambipom. We are max special attack because we gotta make sure we are hitting everything as hard as possible, and the rest we just threw in HP to round out Palkia's bulk. Pressure is kind of what it is. Naive, we gotta be very, very careful, because when it comes to taking Moonblast and things like that from Florges, we can actually die a little bit quicker, but it doesn't really matter though, because still 2 Moonblast does knock me out. And with that being said, that is our Palkia for this week. Moving on to our Umbreon, is kind of a mixed defense Umbreon. We got 240 HP, 240 split depth, the rest I threw in defense. Careful Nature allows me to take on Walking Wake and Zapdos. We are very, very weak to Volt Switch. So if he wanted to bring like a Scarf Zapdos, that would be very, very hard for my team to deal with, because I just don't have a lot that wants to switch in and out around a Scarf Zapdos, because I don't have a Toedscroll. We are Leftovers to kind of keep Umbreon healthy. Wish, Foul Play, Protect, Toxic. Wish is for support for Umbreon and the team. Foul Play chips everything down. Groudon, Walking Wake. If Florges do want to come in, we got Toxic for the Florges. Foul Play can also do a decent chip to Muk. And yeah, so anything but a Scarf Zapdos this week would be ideal for me, because yeah, I don't switch into electric type attacks that well. And with that being said, moving on to our next Pokemon, we have our Snorlax, right? Snorlax is max defense, 224 HP, the rest factor in split dev. This is to help me come in on Groudon a little bit more often, because I'm thick fat, so if he ever wants to go for a Heat Crash, we can take it with our thick fat ability. And we are max defense to kind of take on the ground stabs that Groudon wants to go into. We are Body Slam, Recycle, Fire Punch for Scizor, Heavy Slam for Florges, right? This is a very, very straightforward Snorlax. It's here to help Dondozo with switching into Groudon and some other physical attackers, especially those who don't get close combat. But this thing cannot come in on Ceruledge until we find out for sure if it's close combat or not. Lilligant, same thing. This thing can never be in front of Lilligant. But yeah, we had to get really creative with the Snorlax this week, because Dondozo just isn't enough to tank on all those physical attackers. So hopefully Snorlax comes through. We are Citrus Berry because we are not Gluttony, and we can get our Citrus Berry a little bit earlier than waiting until we're like damn near dead to get the Ayapapa boost or Mago Berry boost, depending on whatever berry is the natural nature for, right? So whatever the natural nature is for this mon, there is a corresponding berry. But with that being said, Snorlax, you are here mainly to come in on Groudon and click Body Slam. And a part of me wanted to run Facade because yes, Zapdos is a switch in, and I could boost my my damage output. But I think Body Slam is just a consistent thing to have. And Body Slam will kind of allow me to gauge what kind of Zapdos we're dealing with. We're doing offensive Zapdos, defensive Zapdos, rocking helmet. So yeah, Snorlax, very, very important, very, very simple to roll this week. And moving on to our next Pokemon, we got our keys to victory. So there is no next Pokemon. So our keys to victory this week is very, very extensive. So this week we have to make sure we're chipping down Groudon. The more and faster we can do that, we are able to limit sun turns, and hopefully we can beat Lilligant in the late game. Dondozo is very, very important because my opponent has 1,000 physical attackers. So figuring out a way to keep this Pokemon alive and healthy is going to be key. Dealing with the combination of Muck and Florges opens up my team a lot, you know, but I gotta make sure either Muck is dead for Spectre or Florges is dead for Palkia, you know what I mean, and then we can start opening up the team, because even though my opponent has a Sun team, Surf does a considerable amount even with the Sun up, because we are still a Palkia at the end of the day. And yeah, have fun and relax. We gotta make sure we are having fun, because at the end of the day, this is Pokemon, this is Draft League. We gotta make sure we're having a good time, but at the same time, we gotta make sure we're relaxed and not overplaying things that we should be killing and things like that. So with that being said, right, give your California Trailblazers a big shout out. Wish us good luck in the 4th round in the BHDL Season 5. So yeah, Pokemaster is out.